Hello, welcome, and thank you for joining us on this edition of News 2. I'm Sandra Guman Singh. Topping our newscast, Golden Grove Prison has been placed on immediate lockdown. Bureau of Corrections Acting Director Basil Richards said the facility will be on full cell restriction lockdown until further notice. Officials say it's in response to recent inappropriate appearances of inmates on a social media outlet, and the action is necessary to keep both prisoners and personnel safe. Work details and work release programs have been suspended, as well as all visitations during the lockdown. News 2 will keep you updated. The last of 3 festival villages came to life Thursday evening as the Crucian Christmas Festival Committee and Royalty officially opened Pearl's World, the name of this year's Frederiksted village that honors Miss Pearl Lake for her 24 years of service to the village. News 2's Janisha John brings us more from the village opening ceremonies.
It was a grand celebration as Crucian Christmas Festival Royalty and government officials came together to officially open the last of 3 villages, the Frederiksted Festival Village.
We're here on our third festival for our 60th anniversary. Never been done ever in history. First time, and again, you look forward to seeing it in the future.
The Frederiksted Village, or what committee members have dubbed as Pearl's World, opened in high spirits as many officials spoke on the history and importance of the 60th anniversary.
History is what brought us to this 60th anniversary. And we can't forget it, because there's a lot of people that toiled through the years that helped to develop what the young people are enjoying now as a festival.
Frederiksted, Freedom City. Let's show the world what is meant to be in Frederiksted, this village. Happy 60th anniversary. Let's have some fun.
Many smiles could be seen throughout the village as family and friends enjoyed good food, drinks, and entertainment in Pearl's World. But one smile shined the brightest as this year's village honoree, Miss Pearl Lake, was honored for her 24 years of service to the village.
24 years she has been coming to the village, participating in the village, taking the pictures of thousands and thousands, and I've known her for a while, and I've yet to see her without a smile. Let me see. I rest my case.
I'd also like to thank the festival committee for naming the village in my honor. It is a great tribute, especially since this year is the 60th anniversary of the festival. Visit all the booths, get some good food, and then come and take your pictures at booth number 18.
Janisha John, News 2.
Some good advice there. The Frederiksted Festival Village will be open until January 6th. Well, the crowd at St. Croix's Randall Doc James Racetrack was treated to an exciting 11-race Boxing Day race card on Wednesday. While local favorite Slevin was in Tortola for their Boxing Day races, there was still plenty to cheer about. We pick it up in the 9th race, the Big Yell Rule Stakes, where Turn to Gold took the 3rd and final leg of the Mare and Philly Triple Crown Classic. Race 10, the Dennis Brow Farewell Christmas Classic, was won by St. Thomas's Twisted Dream. Well, the Party Monarch competition kicks off at 8 p.m. tonight at the Village. And here are the other things lined up. Sunday, boat races are scheduled at noon at the Frederiksted Fish Market, and then later on in the evening, it's back to the Frederiksted Village for Cultural Night. Monday, the young people get their opportunity to shine bright at the Frederiksted Village. January 2nd, Rosa Time, also known as Juve, kicks off at 4 a.m. Then it's Reggae Nights, 8 p.m. at the Frederiksted Village. Then Thursday, January 3rd, Latin Night heats things up at the Frederiksted Village at 6 p.m. It's also the night of the Calypso Monarch Finals, 8 p.m. at Island Center. The Children's Parade on January 4th and the Adults Parade is on tap for January 5th. Then, for the finale, fireworks light up the skies at 8 p.m. at the Frederiksted Village. Well, it's a celebration for the 60th. Rags and Flags on Saturday at Penthouse Rooftops, featuring entertainment by Festive Squad and Redman and much, much more. Also Matterhorn and Lionface, who we all know from St. Croix. He lived and graduated from St. Croix Central High School and DJ'd from Williams Delight as Papa Richie, where he first started his career. He has traveled worldwide and produced artists such as Luciano, Sean Paul, Egyptian, just to name a few. In the VI, he's called The Legend. He was here in St. Croix in 2009 to 10, where he DJ'd for Wayne Wonder. Now, he is the owner and producer of record label Lion King Music. So be sure to check that out. And be sure to tune into CBS TV 2 for 2 News 2 specials. 2012 Year in Review on Monday, December 31st. It replays on Tuesday, January 1st, 2013 at 7 p.m. and midnight. That's when we take a look back at some of the major events that made an impact in the territory. Then on Thursday, January 3rd, 2013, it's the Crucian Christmas Festival 60th special. We look back at some of this year's festival events leading up to the grand finale, also at 7 p.m. and midnight. Plus, don't forget live coverage of the Children's Parade on January 4th and the Adults Parade on January 5th. Turn our attention to other news. The fiscal cliff is just 3 days away, and the Bureau of Economic Research released an analysis Thursday, as News 2 mentioned, of the impact on the territory over the next 10 years if the nation falls off the cliff. The study was requested by Governor John DeYoung so everyone could understand just how detrimental Washington's failure to compromise would be to the VI. We reported on Thursday that the territory would see roughly $100 million in cuts over that period. News 2's Erica Parsons has more.
The nation is edging towards the fiscal cliff. That's when automatic tax increases and spending cuts are set to take effect January 2nd if Washington doesn't come to a compromise before then. Going over the cliff would jeopardize the territory's economic recovery, according to Wharton Berger, who heads the VI's Bureau of Economic Research. Director Berger and his team went through the VI's budget line by line. He said they looked at each federally funded program to see how they would be affected if they weren't exempt. Berger said it would be difficult to figure the cuts to federal programs without knowing more information, but he said that most of the programs would have to reduce their support to residents. Locally, the VI would be hit three ways. 1, the spending cuts would eliminate between $10 to $12 million in grant funding annually for 10 years. 2, the expiration of the Bush-era tax cuts would raise personal and corporate taxes and remove deductions that benefit many residents, one example being the Earned Income Credit. And then 3, the national impact means Americans who travel to the VI wouldn't have the extra money to do so, thus hurting the territory's tourism economy. The VI government's 2013 budget anticipates $161 million in federal grants, and Berger says the territory will lose about $10 million of that. Director Berger also noted that the Congressional Budget Office has concluded that the measures set to kick in if we fall off the cliff could trigger a second recession for the nation. Reporting for News 2, I'm Erica Parsons.
The entire report done by the Bureau of Economic Research can be found on the Governor's Office's website at www.governordeyoung.com. Meanwhile, President Obama held a last-ditch meeting with congressional leaders to avoid the fiscal cliff. Danielle Nottingham has the latest from Washington.
Congressional leaders are meeting at the White House for a fiscal cliff summit with President Obama. The closed-door meeting is a last-ditch attempt to avoid the automatic tax hikes and spending cuts set to kick in at the start of the new year. With just 3 days to go, Republicans and Democrats are still blaming each other.
I want to thank all of you for being here to call upon the House Republicans and Republicans not to drop the ball on the middle class.
Democrats Chris Van Hollen and Tom Harkin attended a New Year's Eve-style rally, saying the fiscal cliff ball is in the Republicans' court.
It's Republicans who are holding hostage the middle class in America so that the wealthy don't have to pay their fair share.
We need two words: presidential leadership on not just taxing rich people.
Tennessee Republicans Lamar Alexander and Bob Corker said the president has to take the lead. Corker was not optimistic about the White House meeting.
We're going to end up with a small, kick the can down the road bill that creates another fiscal cliff to deal with this fiscal cliff.
Today's meeting at the White House is the first time since mid-November that the president has had all 4 congressional leaders in the same room at the same time. Their past fiscal cliff talks have not been productive. Adding to the urgency, 2 million unemployed Americans will lose their benefits on Saturday if a deal is not reached. The nation's borrowing limit to finance its $16 trillion debt will be maxed out by Monday. Danielle Nottingham, News 2.
Meanwhile, keeping our eye on the economy, stocks opened lower as President Obama and top lawmakers make that last-ditch effort to prevent the U.S. from going over the so-called fiscal cliff. A strike by 14,000 long horsemen at the major ports on the East Coast and Gulf is being avoided for now. The two sides reached a deal allowing an expired contract for workers to be extended for another 30 days while negotiations continue. The dock workers were preparing for a possible strike Sunday that could have crippled operations at ports that handle about 40% of all U.S. container cargo. This is the New York Stock Exchange with Scotiabank Stock Market Watch. The Dow, Nasdaq, S&P all down. The Dow 158, Nasdaq 25, S&P 15. Coming up on News 2, she says the gift of life is the most important thing there is. More on 23-year-old dialysis patient Ayanti, who has been on dialysis since the age of 12 and is currently on the list for a new kidney. Thankfully, we have been receiving many calls and we'll provide some information on how you can help. On Thursday, News 2 brought you the story of a 23-year-old dialysis patient who has been on dialysis since the age of 12. Ayanti Brown suffers from end-stage renal disease and is currently on the list for a new kidney. News 2's Alison Bourne-Vanek has more on how Ayanti manages her diagnosis.
This is where Ayanti Brown spends 3 days a week for 3 hours at a time. The 23-year-old has been on dialysis for over 10 years and suffers from end-stage renal disease. She's currently on the waiting list for a new kidney because her first kidney transplant failed her a year after the surgery.
After she came back and her kidney fell, she was over 18 and all of her medical assistance was took away from her. So she was pretty much going from pillar to post for a long time. And for her to pull herself up as far as she's pulled herself up, it is amazing.
And while she waits for a new kidney, she takes her medicine and follows a very strict diet that patients with her diagnosis must follow.
When you're on dialysis, you have to eat low salt foods because like your kidney cannot filter the salt of your body, so you have to be on a low sodium diet, low phosphorus, low potassium.
And before every meal, Ayanti must take pills known as phosphorus binders, which break up the phosphorus in her food. Without those pills, there are big risks.
Well, sometimes if you eat like a lot of salt, you get high blood pressure and sometimes you can get a seizure. And with the phosphorus things, if you eat high phosphorus, your heart can eventually stop. My dream right now is just to get my transplant. That's the only dream I'm dreaming of right now. I'm just living one day at a time. I'm not trying to rush life.
But she hopes that life rushes a new kidney to her soon. Alison Bourne-Vanek, News 2.
Again, if you would like to help Ayanti Brown, you can contact her church, and that's the St. Thomas Reformed Church at 776-8255, or you can email the church at mail@stthomasreformedchurch.org. The Vincent Mason Senior Pool in Frederiksted is closed until January 12th. Officials from the Department of Sports, Parks and Recreation say the pool is closed for its annual maintenance and warranty repairs. According to Commissioner St. Clair Williams, the park next to the pool will stay open for the general public's use, and he encourages everyone to visit the facilities during the holiday season. The pool will reopen Monday, January 13th from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. daily. Well, it will be roots, rock, and reggae this weekend as many will gather at Koki Point Beach on St. Thomas for the 6th annual Beach Fire concert event. A few of the promoters stopped by to give us some information on what you can expect this Saturday.
The event starts at 3 tomorrow. 3 p.m. we started with a fashion show. We're going to have live music, live drumming, live dance, and fire eating. There's going to be food exhibits. It's going to be crafts, arts vendors. It's going to be on the beach. It's going to be a real live bonfire. And we're paying tribute to our brethren, Ras Konaya, who passed earlier this year, and at the same time, too, Attorney Darwin Carr, who crashed in the plane flight from St. Croix to St. Thomas. He was also a contributor of the Beach Fire event.
This is a community event. It's about us as a people, and we're trying to really give something positive to the community.
Me hear that, me hear that, me hear that. Beach fire in the area, me hear that. Me hear that, me hear that, me hear that. Tomorrow down at Cookie Point, me say me hear that. Boom.
That is going to be an awesome event. Be sure to stick around to see what the weather holds in store. We'll be right back.